I just finished grading your dinner party essays, and you all have such big hearts. And the causes that you chose to create an event to support were absolutely brilliant. And your ideas are brilliant, and your creativity is. And I wanted to go over a few things because we're getting ready to work on your final essay, and I want to make sure that that final essay demonstrates everything in a pristine way. So I brought up the rough draft of my persuasive dinner party essay to point out to you a few things that I saw that I need everybody to work on and correct. Even if you made 100, it's still worth your while to look at this and make sure that we have everything set. Remember, when we click the layout, all of this spacing should be on 0. Not auto, but 0. That will keep you from having those gaps between the paragraphs. Also, when we go over here to File, and we go over here to Home, we want to set the spacing to 2.0 for your final essay. 1.5 works. Now remember, when you get to a university, they're going to have different requirements for this spacing, so make sure you know what the professor is asking you for there. I don't think any professor will ever want an essay that's single spaced, so it will be somewhere in this area. Now I want to remind you also real quickly over here in Outlook, remember Word comes free with Outlook, and you simply click on these dots and that shows you Word. And it's an excellent program to use for college and university work because it's recognized on most all computers, whereas some of the other applications might not be. But we demonstrate Word in this course because it is a free app to all students. I wanted to remind you too that for the dinner party, it was important in the images that you, as the host of the party, be in the essay, both in an image. I know you're saying, if that's you, Professor Hall, I'll eat my hat. No, it's not me, but it could be. Anyway, you should be in here somewhere, or whoever your character that you're presenting as yourself as should be in the essay. Since we have the benefit of qualitative analysis and we can show these things, then you needed to be in the action somewhere. Interesting images that represent the event. Now, many of you are still having a problem with just tacking in images at the end of a paragraph. That is not going to work for this final essay. This final essay is written like a narrative, and the images need to be inside the narrative, not tacked on at the bottom of a paragraph. So to remind you again, we click on the picture. You see the little toggles. We can move it around wherever we want it to go so that it is interesting on the page, but that it doesn't disrupt the reader from reading the entire content. Images should be basically the same size. If one of them, as I have done, curves the edges, then they all need to have curved edges as part of the whole motif of the essay. Down here, I want to remind you one more time that your works cited needs to be pristine. You will thank me for this, not today, but you will when you get to the university level and all the other students are turning in essays that don't even have so much as a citation, and you turn in your paper with this beautifully formatted works cited. You will thank me. Now, some schools are going to ask for that APA style of MLA. I don't know why they do that, but they do. We are a liberal arts community college, and that is why we are using MLA. But be prepared for APA when you go to the university level. I don't know why I'm telling you this, although I'm assuming that that's where you're headed. I'm going to show you one thing real quick. When I am in EasyBib creating my works cited project, this little drop-down menu gives me every way in the world of formatting that works cited. So if you are at a school that requires APA for whatever reason, then you would just simply ask them, which APA is it? 6, 7, Chicago, which one do they want? And then if they wanted that, then you would simply click it like that, and it will format that exactly the way that institution wants it. For our purposes, we use the most current MLA. All right? Your outline didn't need to be pretty. This one isn't pretty. It didn't need to be perfectly formatted. It just needed to show me what your logical process is. The outline is for you, not for me. When you get to the university level, the outline will be for you, not for your professor. You want to be able to show and organize your essay so you just don't have random content coming in here and there. So that's my little note on outlines. They don't ever need to be pretty, but they do need to show your logic. You're going to have an outline that's due for your narrative essay, and you can do that outline any way that works for you. I do beat sheets, and then I break beat sheets down into manageable chapters. That's what you're going to be doing for this. You're going to have chapters, and you're going to know what happens in each chapter. Be sure for your final essay that you have chapters. The chapters may or may not have chapter titles. I always like to do chapter titles, but it's not required. But your content is organized in those chapters. Be sure for that essay as well that you carefully move your pictures so that they are in an interesting way part of your content. Don't drag them over here. They stay in the margin. It should be just pristine and beautiful. Okay? And make sure that they are consistent. All right. I think that's all of my notes for this. You all are absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to the proposals for your narrative essays. If you are still having trouble with having works cited properly shown, remember that is a skill that must be demonstrated in this course. Good news, there are still 2 assignments left. One that has to do with using research in a narrative essay, and you'll create a works cited for that, and then you will have a works cited included in your final essay. So if you didn't do the works cited correctly this time, that's okay. You still have chances left to do that. But it's important. It is a very important critical thinking, analytical skill for this Advanced 103 course. So move forward. I know you're doing great, and I'm excited to see what you have coming up next.